It's like I'm frozen in time. I don't know what. That transition is so weird. Hey everybody, welcome to What Drives Us, episode 427 for September 1st, 2021. My name is Russell Frost, and yeah, I'm still a little out of it from the accident last week, so yeah, that's my excuse, and I'm going to stick to it. And if you don't like it, my attorney will send you a letter. So, here we go. Let's have a show. And yeah, so if my voice is a little rough, though, I think my wife's been saying, like, you sound very hoarse. And I'm like, I don't know why. It's not because I've been on a whiskey binge. COVID. No, it's not because of a COVID binge either. I don't know. I'm just old and wretched, I guess. That's all I got. So let's introduce the not old and not wretched panel that will help make this show better than if it was just me rambling. My friend in Boulder, Colorado, in the usually not seen location, the secret location. Paul Guzik.
Hey, glad to be here. I usually go to the car lot location for the show, but today work went too late, so I'm at the repair shop location. So never seen before, maybe.
Ooh, never. Love that. Next to him, our friend in the Mid-Atlantic region, Mr. Supercharger Kacey Green.
How's it going? We just had the remnants of Ida fly through. Thankfully, no flooding or tornadoes here. Unfortunately, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey got both of those things. So think about them and the people who were hit with the Cat 5 or Cat 4. Sorry.
Yeah, everybody on the path to your south.
Yes.
Well, our northernmost, I have to think about this, our northernmost panelist and host and founder of The Tesla Life, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We have got some interesting stories to talk about tonight. So let's get to it.
Do we really, Mark? Because
you didn't see the notes tonight, huh?
I thought it was kind of a, like I'm going to have to come up with some old man ranty thing or something.
Well, I mean, you told us one story, so we only gave you one story.
Yeah, I know. That's fine. We're good. And last, and without question not least, my friend in NorCal, where the AQI is just slightly above Chewy today, Georgia McKenzie.
Oh, it is much less chewy. Now it's more, viscous.
I wonder if anybody built that box from last week.
We're doing much better. Thanks, you guys, for joining us tonight. We do have stories. We got stuff to talk about. And Russell, since when have you ever needed a reason to go on a rant?
That part.
that really hurts me, Georgia. That really hurts me.
The truth hurts, man.
I'm hurt inside. Okay, well, let's get this show on the road. And we're going to start off with a story about my favorite car company from Kacey Green.
Yeah, that's me. So our friends at Mazda have finally released themselves an electric plug-in car. They stood fast, and there are no hybrids, except for that Ford thing that they did a while ago. But this thing has a 33 kilowatt-hour battery. So guess what your range is? You get 100 miles of range for $33,470, or after taxes, $27,145, assuming you qualify for everything federal. We had quite a discussion over Twitter and over on Sunday on the Kacey chats, and I'm curious what all of you all think about the utility of a 100-mile car. I was thinking, it stands a chance. Okay, maybe if you want to lock your kid into college and know they're not going anywhere. But then we kept coming back to, you can get a used Nissan Leaf for like $4,000 to $9,000 and replace the battery pack, and you'll still be well under $27,000.
Paul Guzik, can we get a confirmation on that used Leaf price?
Yeah.
I think it might be a little higher.
No, you can get, right now a little higher, but you can get a decent Leaf for $8,000 to $10,000 that's going to go 100 miles easy in nice weather. And they're new enough that they have, heated seats and backup cameras and nice stereos and stuff. So yeah, I tell customers, if you just need a neighborhood car to run around, commute, get to the train station and back, get the kid to school, get a used Leaf.
Yep.
You know,
and,
easily under 10 grand.
And with if you get a brand new Leaf with the CHAdeMO port, since the CCS board is coming out next year for them,
Right.
it's also $27,000 after federal tax credits.
Right.
And it's got a 200-mile range minimum.
But you could also get in the high teens, you could get a used Bold with a 230-mile range. You know, and probably
and you get a free battery out of it too.
Yeah, a new battery.
You don't even got to buy the battery.
Yeah. So new car companies that are coming out with 100-mile cars, they kind of missed that train. You know,
about 5 years.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2014.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, it just doesn't sound like they're serious about
Right.
really entering the market. I mean, this is a great car. Somewhere back in 2012, this is a fabulous vehicle that really pushes the envelope. Oh wait, it's 2021.
That's right. Yeah, and my 1 megapixel digital camera was great 15 years ago too.
Right, I'm wondering if it's going to be a compliance car because
probably.
You're wondering?
Well, I mean, even as a compliance car, who wants to pay that? Like, there's got to be a lot of dealer incentives and stuff on this thing because,
unless they lease it for $169 a month or something.
Lease it for free.
That it doesn't. Yeah.
Effectively free. Yeah.
Getting the small amount of compliance cars out in the market that genre generally, it's not. That's easy. Even for a relatively flaccid company in the United States like Mazda, that's
it better have some
deal.
zoom. But when we first talked about this thing coming out, I think we said it was like anemic. It was slow and it's an SUV, so it's not going to be able to corner the way that the other Mazdas can.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that Mazdas are known for, okay, maybe not for SUVs. They're known for having like a sporty, very youthful style, speedy cars. And here they are. They put their first electric vehicle on the market, and it's a plug-in elephant that's good for about a decade past. What? Who did that? Why did you do that? You could have just given us some money, and we would have had better things to say about you. Just hand everybody in America $50, and we could have told you that this is a great model, and don't build it. Try something else.
And I think that the acceleration was 0 to 60 in like 10. So this will get beat by a classic Beetle with a stock engine.
Buy a Prius.
Right.
So maybe they think that Access Loaner program. This just sounds
or maybe it's for like Europe or
That's a press thing.
Asia where gas is expensive and there's incentives to, no one drives very far.
Compliance.
That's the only thing that makes sense really is compliance, because then they can sell it to the dealership themselves. They can give it out as a loaner car because then you're still in a Mazda. They know you're not going to take it out of town because you can't.
But it's not like Mazda has big F-250 type trucks that they need emissions credits to sell.
Right. I mean, we're talking about the Miata and a bunch of small SUVs.
Yeah. Like, what are they going to use those credits for?
For all the ICE cars that they make, because this is the only thing that isn't pure ICE.
It's cheaper than buying credits from Tesla.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with Benjamin out in the comments there. Yes, an electric Miata would have made
that would have sold like hotcakes.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
That would have just generated a huge amount of excitement. Okay, I fully
even with 100-mile range.
I have a grandma driving record. I literally go maybe about 14 miles a week. My car still has less than 50,000 miles on it, and I've owned it since 2017.
Right.
Right, but for this to work for you, you would need to have attached parking with electricity in it.
And I wouldn't buy this car, and it would probably work fine for my needs because I think I get a better deal with my Fit. If my grandma driving habits would not impress me enough to buy this car, then I don't know who you made it for, honey. Go back to
somebody who won't buy a Ford and won't buy a Tesla, won't buy anything. It's got to be a Mazda.
Yeah,
I need a Mazda.
I think Mazda still has sort of a relationship with Ford. I know that in the past they've done joint cars, so maybe they'll rebrand a Ford EV at some point.
It would have made more sense.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
nothing to,
as far as the zoom sportiness, everybody thinks of the Miata. It would have been so cool to have an electric Miata with a 200-mile range. Like Kacey said, that would have sold like hotcakes.
it didn't even have to have a 200-mile range. 150
Right.
miles in the Miata is
Yeah.
enough of a kidney torturing, back spine twisting experience. You know what I mean? Like, you drive for an hour and a half in the Miata, you just want to sit in an easy chair for a while. Great car.
That they would
so
sold
much
everyone
fun.
they made. Yeah.
Well,
But,
as
yeah.
we've often called it, it's a penis mobile. I mean,
It is, yeah.
You're not going to sit in that for an hour or two. You're just going to drive around and feel those 2 inches you've been missing all your life for a brief shining moment, and then go back home.
They
Yeah,
do handle
basically.
nice. They
Who have you been talking to? Oh,
Men,
I got nothing. So, yeah, there's the Mazda MX-30, a very exciting addition that's certainly going to stimulate the electric vehicle market and help them take off.
So, do you think that Europe
No.
will get our share of it? I mean, because even there, you want to go a little bit further, even though the countries are smaller.
You know what? I honestly couldn't. That's more of a business strategy than anything else. Like, I don't know. Maybe.
maybe if
There
Maybe,
doesn't
but-
seem to be a lot of strategy in this whole thing. Like,
Yeah,
I can't see where they're gaining on any of this. It just seems like they're introducing a vehicle to fail. Like, I don't see where the win is in any of the categories.
You know, a lot of people said stuff like that about that first generation Toyota Prius plug-in, that they intentionally made it horrible so that they could go, wow, this is horrible and nobody wants it.
But at least that one
Sadly,
you could go further if you needed to.
well, I mean, right. And my only point is,
11 miles.
is sometimes even smart companies do things for unfathomable reasons. And this is going to sound horrible, but I got to tell you, my direct experience with Mazda America.
so basically, you're saying this is money laundering.
No, I'm saying that the people at Mazda US have gone out of their way to prove that they're not serious about being a bigger car company than they are.
Oh.
Money laundering.
I'm sorry?
Money laundering.
Money laundering. It could be. I don't know. I mean, I don't like, and
Allegedly.
go back and thank you. Go back and look at my reviews of all the Mazda cars from like 3 years ago. The last time I had a run, I wasn't panning Mazda cars. A lot of their cars are actually really well done. And I have, in all fairness, I haven't driven the MX-30. I'd love to be able to, bring that to it. But I think what we're all keying in here without having been directed to it is it doesn't even really matter what the driving experience is in the MX-30. It's about 33 grand for 100 miles in this form factor and in this year. Why? And I think that's really the question, is why. And I think it's compliance, or they're just incompetent. Nice, JT.
Incompetent would make sense, because like, why not just save whatever money they had invested in this thing and do it better? I don't even have to do it great. Just do it better than this next year or the year after.
Here's after like more than a decade, years and years of Toyota, we just want to buy an EV from you. It has always been my fear that like the first Toyota EV would be this.
Right.
Like 89 miles of range, 33,000 miles.
See, nobody wanted it. We told you nobody wanted it.
In 2012, the RAV4 EV had like 100-mile range.
Right?
140, 160, yeah.
Well, no, it had like about 110, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They
But in
might have made the
2012.
range that I saw before
That said-
the adjustment of the. Remember, they adjusted all the ranges down.
That car was a tire shredder and a blast to drive.
That part.
Yeah.
But they're all broken now.
They're all broken now.
None of them work. Yay! Landfill. Thank you. Okay, well, that monument to cooperation between car companies now having left the scene, let's see what we've got here. Next up, let's go to Paul Guzik.
Oh,
to talk about our
Yeah.
favorite fuel in his favorite place.
So a local press release came out yesterday. Some company called New Day Hydrogen is partnering with
It's a new
AAA
day.
Colorado to have hydrogen-powered AAA service trucks. And my first reaction is, did they like smoke too much Colorado weed to come up with this? Because everybody here knows hydrogen vehicles are a joke. And the last thing you want is when your car is broken down, the AAA truck to be broken down or run
Next
out of
to you.
fuel to help you. Like, come on, guys. Like, did you not research this? Or is this just a bubbly press release to get some green points? It doesn't say who's making the trucks. I've never seen a hydrogen tow truck, and it's going to cost a gazillion dollars. It's going to be a compliance type car. It's going to break. There's going to be one or two places to refuel it. It's just a bad idea all around. And
There's one good thing that'll come of this. After they get tired of the hydrogen situation, they can rip that fuel cell stack out, replace it with batteries, and they'll have the first EV tow truck.
That's true. But, they should have just done the EV trucks right away, like gotta.
Oh, JT. JT says Nicola's making them. Oh, wait.
Nice.
Well,
So the other question is, Colorado is a little bit far from Canada, isn't it? And that's where we import all of our hydrogen from.
So you read the article, the press release, they're going to crack water to make hydrogen using renewable resource.
Of course they are.
Hydrogen's available everywhere, Casey. Didn't you know that?
You just burn
if you crack water, yeah.
They say they're going to use solar and wind to do it, but why not just use solar and wind to feed the grid and charge electric cars?
Kill a coal plant.
So AAA Colorado, I think you're great, but who's ever involved in this program, like, you're a loser. This is doomed to fail.
Money laundering.
Yeah, money laundering.
I have to write down.
Maybe they're secretly funded by Japan and they're getting some of that Japanese hydrogen money.
I don't know.
Is there money for that? Because
there's got to be some reason that Toyota and Honda are just so obsessed with hydrogen, and it's got to be the Japanese hydrogen money.
Yeah,
because who would lose that much money for nothing? Yeah, in Japan.
Yeah, these Clean World or whatever it's called, New Day Hydrogen. I wonder if the CEO
sounds like a cult.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think hydrogen might just be.
Oh, that, but no, I meant the New Day.
New Day Hydrogen, let me tell you, the website is not super slick. And the CEO, named Seth Terry, is an energy and clean tech entrepreneur. He, AB, Princeton University. He has a PhD from the Colorado School of Mines. He has an MBA from Regis University. And you can send him an email at seth@newdayhydrogen.com.
And
Seth, what is your
maybe
problem?
He's a smart guy, but he's never watched our show to learn about hydrogen.
Seth's just trying to sell his company, and so he's got to get somebody to say, hey, hydrogen's important, and a partnership with AAA is a good one.
Yeah, but
if he gets some union labor, he can sell it off real quick.
like, it'd be different if he was like a courier company and they were going to take like a Rivian EV truck. That's doable, right?
Yeah.
But a fuel cell tow truck? Like, come on, in the middle of winter in the mountains,
grasping,
running out of fuel, what are you going to do? I mean,
so it would work great in the Orkneys because there they do crack water because they have so much excess wind energy. But it would only work until they get their mainland connection beefed up, because then they'll just sell their grid power back to the grid. It's just right now they've overloaded their pipe to the mainland, so they crack water with the rest of it.
Yeah.
I have this wonderful image of the truck running out of hydrogen, and the AAA guy dragging one of those big, huge Parsons carbonic tanks with frost all over the outside of it down the road.
Yeah.
I just need to fill up. Anybody want to give me a ride? I need to fill up.
The first time it breaks down or runs out of fuel, that'll be a classic photo, like the AAA truck towing the AAA truck,
Yes.
with the customer's car on the back of the first tow truck.
The last one, yeah.
I don't know.
Like ice cream Russian dolls.
Yeah.
Every time we have a hydrogen fuel cell thing that comes up on this show, it's just so unfeasible.
Yeah.
Every time, and yet it's so shiny. Look, the only thing Japanese that you could get me to kind of sign up for something like this, okay, lifetime poke, and mochi. Then I'm good. Bribe me. At least make it obvious you're bribing me. Give me something for this because it just doesn't make any sense. This focus on it, and I don't get it. I just don't
Well,
get it.
it still would work great for like long haul trucking, shipping, and aircraft. Long haul aircraft, because we've already seen the short haul aircraft do better with batteries anyway. So
Well,
Hey, when I see one of these trucks, I'll take a video of it.
yes,
I was just
please.
going to say, let's just.
Let's
This
keep
is going to be
trying.
one of those. Let's follow up and see just how well this exciting experiment goes.
Get the driver on the show after his
man.
shift.
So
Oh,
I don't
no.
believe this. The article also mentions in California there are already more than 8,000 fuel cell EVs on the road. I find that hard to believe.
I can see them all being Mirai leases and Hondas.
8,000 though.
No,
I've
No.
never seen it.
800 maybe 80, but 8,000.
they would
Well,
have
I
to
mean-
have made more fueling stations for that, right?
At one time, Toyota had allegedly 1,500 Mirais in Southern California.
Is it cumulative? Maybe like they've 8,000 through all of the years that they've been
Oh,
running this scam.
now even if you count like the the 2 dozen Hyundais and blah blah blah. I don't know.
8,000 on the road. Where are they getting fuel? At the two stations that exist?
Yeah, because remember, after the fourth car, that thing needs to regenerate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to Georgia McKenzie for a story about one of my favorite places, oddly enough, IKEA. But what they're selling doesn't come in a flat pack with its own wrenches.
I don't know. Maybe it does.
Oh.
So here's something kind of cool, kind of interesting. IKEA is notable here in the US for trying to make things more sustainable. Life in, say, 400 square feet, for example. Now, what's cool is that they are planning to start selling affordable renewable electricity, but there's a catch only to the Swedish customers. Sorry.
Only if
sorry.
your name is Bjorn.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. By Swedish, not genetically Swedish. You just have to be in Sweden. Sorry, Americans with Swedish ancestry. Okay, sorry, guys. It's the Stroma initiative, and that is Swedish for flow. They are trying to curb the amount of fossil fuels that their customers use at home. So, home energy use associated with its products and appliances account for an estimated 20% of IKEA's total carbon footprint. So, Stroma's goal is to make going green more affordable and accessible for those who want it. Oh, forgive me if I make it wrong, but I do not speak. I don't speak the Swedish. Svea Solar, the maker of IKEA's solar panels, will purchase all the necessary power on the Nord Pool power exchange and pass it on to customers directly at no additional cost. Customers can buy both wind and solar power through an app, which also lets them track their usage. Highly cool. So, in terms of generating power, Ingva Group has invested about 2.9 billion in solar and wind power as of 2019. So there's already a pretty strong infrastructure in place. The holding company owns and operates 2 solar farms and 547 wind turbines, not to mention more than 920,000 solar panels at the Ingva Group owned IKEA stores and warehouses. So, Ingva wanted Stroma to source only renewable electricity from wind and solar infrastructure built within the last 5 years. Now, this isn't exactly the first time IKEA has taken steps to kind of green their customers. They actually started selling solar panels in the UK back in 2013. They've expanded that to 10 additional markets. And if you bought solar panels from IKEA, you could actually sell your surplus power back to the company through Stroma, which is a
Cool.
great incentive to participate. Now, it's only in Sweden for the time being, but they hope to let customers in all of their markets use and generate renewable energy through their services by 2025. But we'll see what happens about bringing it to the US because one of our biggest problems with going greener here in the US is that a lot of the component materials have to be imported, and that's what's affecting the greening of solar panels and all this kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. What do you guys think?
So is this very similar then, it sounds like, to like when in my power company I can check a box and pay a little more and I'll get guaranteed input for solar and wind and hydro and everything? Is it like that?
I think so. I think it's I mean, the fact that you have app control is pretty interesting. I I have a level of questions, like I would have to do a little bit more research on it. But how separate is Stroma from Ingfa? These names.
And don't forget Billy the bookcase.
I like the
Everybody
blue
loves the
case.
Billy bookcase. I personally have about 4 in my apartment. So yeah,
Every house has one.
every
Every-
house has the Billy.
Has a Billy. Yeah.
I've
And
got the
let's not
IKEA
forget
Dave
the
downstairs for my laptop stand.
This is an IKEA desk.
Yeah.
This is my
I'm
computer
sitting in an
now.
IKEA table.
It's like
I've got
IKEA all over
IKEA
this
standing
place.
desk right here to the left of me.
To me, it's a wonderland. Yeah,
This
I mean,
bookcase over here.
That was nice.
I'm gonna look at okay. Benjamin in the chat says electrical utilities in the U.S. would lobby hard against IKEA if they tried to.
Oh, they sure
bring it
would.
in here.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them it's
Sure.
already illegal to be competed with.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be, it would be regional, like in some with I'll borrow water use because I know a little bit more about that, but like how in some municipalities you cannot collect rainwater because
Yeah.
rainwater is how they collect it for their use to support their cities. So if you collect rainwater in a rain barrel, you are actually committing
Not
a
your
crime.
property.
Yeah. So, and for a lot of some people up here in California, that's like, what? But I think in Colorado that might be true. It might also be true in Arizona. So,
Yeah, it's more
water
common in those
collection.
dry states.
Yeah, it's water
Those
collection.
dry states.
You
But not
actually
all of
have
them.
to
Like
know
some
what your
wet states, so you
municipal
don't
rules
own
are.
water either.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, Benjamin, although utility companies would lobby hard against it, IKEA here in the US has a lot of money and makes a lot of people money. So they're not exactly underdogs in this fight. And the ability to get people in, spend lots of money, and unlike Walmart, they occupy huge footprints with their stores, provide a lot of jobs, and they don't abandon regions because most times they open very judiciously and they stay put. Most of the stores that there's a store in New Jersey that I remember going to when I was in college. So we're talking
I was this big.
30, yeah, about
Same one.
I was 30 years, and they're still pretty much a damn popular store. They're still there. They don't abandon spots. Like Walmart will go take over a massive area, abuse and destroy the local economy, and then, well, you know what? Maybe we want to be somewhere else. And then you got just a devastated landscape. IKEA IKEA is like they're far more stable. And if they're willing to bend over backwards that much for Walmart, you'd be surprised how much an energy lobby would be ineffective for something that's an economic boost and a job creation boost that is also a re-election boost. This is what people run on. So that's my 2 cents on that.
And I think
Yeah.
most of the IKEAs have big solar farms on their roof because they have huge ass roofs.
They do.
Yes, they
And-
do. They take their lead building status pretty seriously. So I know that they would do fine in California if California allows it. Trust that you're going to see a lot of the West and East Coast areas allow it. What happens on the interior? That's an entirely different country, man. Can't speak to
And
that.
they're not unprecedented in this either. There was a service I subscribed to in South Carolina that would put in 50% of my utility usage as wind energy for free. And I wish I could recall their name right off the top of my head, but I can't. So this they could use that as a template for how they can operate in the U.S. They can say, hey, well, these guys can do it. We want to do it too. And it doesn't have to be 50% because these guys offer to pay up to do 100% wind input with the purchasing the solar credits, wind credits in this case. Well, virtually like the virtual power plants in New Jersey and New York.
It would be nice to see this come to the United States, but cheers to them for trying it in their home territory. And someone, whether it's IKEA or somebody else or lots of companies doing things like this, is going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
How's that? Or we could just ignore solar and, wind power and all that. It's pointless.
Time is now. We're out of time to wait
burn
and see.
coal and make hydrogen.
Yeah, I mean,
when
the rapture comes, all of this is going to be irrelevant.
Oh man!
This rapture they're waiting on, man. It's taking its time.
I played the rapture card. Yes, I did. You can send me your emails. That's fine. It's 2 S's and 2 L's.
Debbie Harry's rapture.
Oh, there you go. Well, speaking of, no, not going on. Why do I always do that to Mark?
I don't know.
Let's not wreck Mark's introduction. Here is the host of the Tesla Life doing This Week in Tesla for What Drives Us. Mark Coughlin, take it away, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, this week in Tesla, we've got a couple of favorite stories we're going to touch back on. The first one, apparently, what gets stuck in Vegas stays in Vegas. So what we've got a story about is of course, famous Vegas loop that is now in operation and has been for a few months now. What happened is that another Tesla driver, one that's not associated with the Tesla loop in Vegas, happened to be driving through one of the parking lots at the convention center, noticed a number of Teslas parked in a certain area, and some of them following a path that led underground. He thought to himself, they must be going to get charging. So he decided to maneuver his Tesla around the barricades and follow these other Teslas into the tunnel, which, of course, unbeknownst to him, was the Tesla tunnel project for the convention center. He managed to make it to the first station, and at that point was discovered, who are you and why are you driving your private Tesla in our private tunnel? And he was prompted to turn around, to be guided out, and made it out without any incident. But when I heard this story over the weekend, I presumed it was Kacey Green, because he's always said that he had wanted to drive in the Tesla tunnel. But no, Kacey was in Washington. This happened in Nevada, so it wasn't. Are we Kacey.
Sure?
We're pretty sure. Yeah,
I can show you my logs.
Yeah. But that was kind of interesting that someone made it into the Tesla tunnel with their own Tesla. And I didn't understand. They didn't indicate what color the car was or what type of Tesla it was. But he might have blended in pretty good with the cars that were there, which there's 67 of them currently. Understand they're going to 70, but 67 other Teslas. He kind of blended in and follow them into the tunnel, because of course that's where the charging would be, in the lower deck of the parking structure, which is what he thought.
You could have just played dumb and said, I thought that was where the chargers were.
Well, that's what he did do. That's exactly what he did. Yeah. Whether or not he was pulling anyone's leg, I don't know, but that's exactly what he told the people who were inquiring why he was driving his car in their tunnel. So it was.
I compared him to Wrong Way Corrigan when I heard that excuse.
Exactly. So that was kind of interesting. Another touch on the tunnels is that Fort Lauderdale, which of course received a unsolicited proposal for a twin tunnel from downtown Fort Lauderdale to the beach, they waited 45 days to get counter proposals, which is something they're required to do by law if they receive an unsolicited proposal. And as we thought on the Tesla Life, they're not going to get another bid. And sure enough, after 45 days, they received no other bids. So now the Boring Company is able to continue talks with the government and get into the details, do some site surveying, understand where the issues are going to be, map it out, get into more of the details as to who's going to pay for the tunnel, how it's going to be paid for, what number of vehicles are going to be required, what's the number of people they need to move. All those kind of details are going to now start being worked out between the Boring Company and Fort Lauderdale's municipal government. So we'll wait for some more updates from that group. But that was kind of interesting.
And does the Boring Company want like the city to pay for it, like the taxpayers?
It hasn't been said. The preliminary proposal had nothing to do with a price. It had nothing to do with a payback. There was no indication of how funds would be transferred. So it's all up in the air at this point. We really don't know.
I think it might have been like whoever they proposed it to had been stuck in traffic going to the beach that day for 3 hours. And they said, fine, this is necessary. Put it up for bid. They didn't get any bids.
Yeah, no bids.
Yeah. After said mayor of Fort Lauderdale had been to visit the Vegas tunnels and was very impressed with them.
Yeah, he was in Vegas.
Then suddenly an unsolicited bid showed up in Fort Lauderdale.
He might have had something to do with it. Maybe.
Yeah, there's a complete mystery how that could have happened. I don't know. I think Benjamin in the chat hits it right on the head, which is go ahead, dig a tunnel in Florida and see what it fills with. It isn't going to be air or surfers or tourists.
Actually, Benjamin, Fort Lauderdale has had a tunnel for 100 years now, right on one of their main streets. It's operated quite fine. So it's not as swampy as we might have thought.
Although if Miami disappears to sea level rise, then that might change things a little bit.
Yeah, it's still the same porous limestone geology of the rest of the state, and it's mostly at sea level.
Yeah,
that's the big problem.
Well, I think it's more than a tunnel problem. It's a sea level problem.
Yeah.
It's and you know all the other infrastructure is going to suffer if the sea comes over the walls that hold it back now. So there's a lot of real estate that's in trouble there as to climate change. So
it's not just theoretical either. We've seen in Maldives already people are losing their homes.
Yeah, and there's been some shocking stories about the major U.S. highway that runs into the Florida Keys, and them talking about how long can we continue to safeguard this road because we can't keep raising it. There's only so much we can do as the islands start to disappear.
And people
Replace it with a free ferry
who do not want to accept that. Yeah, your islands are going to go to hell away.
Yep. Climate change, it's real, and for some people it's going to strike a lot earlier than they believe.
It's real, it's accelerating, and it's going to get rid of your overpriced beachfront homes. So
it will. Benjamin almost made me squirt a drink on my nose.
Completely.
Our last story of the evening in Tesla world is a number of months ago. There was a Model Y that was caught. Was it a Y or an X?
It was X.
Okay.
Y wasn't on sale yet.
It was blamed for a fire that held.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the other fire. Sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
It was a Y.
All right. So it was a Model Y. Model Y was blamed for a fire that happened in Dallas. And there was a number of stories written. One of them from Dallas, what is it? Dallas News TV.
That sounds right. Yeah.
They published a story indicating that this particular Model Y exploded in flames and helped burn down a house. Well, eventually the news got out that the actual footage was taken from the Tesla Cam, the memory stick that was in that car was reacquired, and our favorite white hat hacker, Green the Only, was able to get the data off of that stick, and the videos played and showed actually the house was on fire, the garage caught on fire, and then it caught the front of the Model Y on fire. And then they supplied additional photographs of the car as it was sold at a wrecker, with the battery pack looking completely intact, except for the burnt connections at the front of the pack. But certainly there was no exploding battery. And of course, the front of the car was damaged from the fire that was coming from the garage in front of it. What was disappointing was that this Dallas media outlet, after being confronted with the real story that happened, did they actually post something that showed an update? Did they indicate that they were wrong? Did they update the story just to get some more clicks with a Tesla in it and the word fire in it? No. Instead, they just deleted the original story and deleted the tweets that were associated with the story that they made.
Oh.
So just to
Brilliant journalism.
They do not want, they do not want to back up. They do not want to indicate they were wrong. They do not want to indicate anything except let's erase our path and move forward with no one knowing the better. So kind of a sad state for journalism, but really not surprising based on the previous and stories that we've seen in the past.
But are they a real newspaper or just an online thing?
Real newspaper. I wouldn't be surprised if they went to the library and had somebody steal the microfiche and keep it.
Cut it out of the
yeah. Why is this hole here?
The blank space in the microfiche.
Yeah.
But sad, kind of sad. But that's the state of some journalism
good
today.
point, Benjamin. It could be a Sinclair network. They definitely wouldn't want to admit it wrong.
So with that, if you'd like to see additional stories or some more detail, please follow us throughout the week at our Twitter feed at The Tesla Life. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Tesla Life Show, and we broadcast every week on Wednesday as well. Thank you, Russell. Back to you.
Thank you, Mark Coughlin, for that cogent, succinct listing of what's going on with Tesla this week. I feel like we're missing a story that just happened, and I don't know what it is. Did you guys do a breaking thing? Didn't Elon just burp up something? Or
yes. So Elon just said that beta 10 will be ready on Friday.
Right.
And then he claims that in 2 weeks that as normal, people will be able to get it after waiting for years and years. We'll see.
Wasn't there so no Roadster for 2 years?
Oh, that was another one. Yes. So the Roadster isn't going to happen until 2023
because
they need more batteries.
Right.
Model Y is a priority.
Actually, the Roadster requires the 4680s. There's no doubt about it. That's the only battery that's going to go in that car.
And that's the real reason for the delay, because the 4680 doesn't exist yet.
It doesn't exist reliably in quantities necessary, and then once they do, they'll need them for Cybertruck and semi.
It's not a product. It's a prototype, right?
The prototype isn't even ready yet. The prototype will be ready in 2023.
Yeah.
They're saving all the 4680s that are allocated for the Cybertruck because that's another vehicle that's going to require only that battery.
Wow. I got nothing. There you go. Definitely the best source for Tesla news at the Tesla Life on Twitter. Search YouTube for the Tesla Life Show, and do follow Mark and Kacey, and our friend Patrick is on that show as well. The rest of us aren't allowed because we have a bad attitude.
That's certainly allowed.
That's not true. Let's do some shout outs and go home. Paul Guzik, let me start with you, sir.
Once again, Colorado hybrids, EVs, check us out, boulderhc.com or boulderh.com if you're looking to buy a used car, although as usual or as lately, our inventory is kind of low.
So if you have a used hybrid or EV to sell and you're near the front
if you're
range,
going to trade it into the dealer, I'll probably give you more, so call me.
Exactly. And maybe Paul can hook you up with what you want.
Yep.
Avoid that dealer flim flam extra markup. Mr. Kacey Green, what's going on with you?
So, as I was prepping to release a video about software updates, Tesla gave me another software update. So I filmed that one today. Tomorrow I'll be taking it off the camera and then hopefully arranging it before this Friday mess happens. But even if the Friday mess happens, unless they give me a version, I doubt they will because I'm not a member of the beta tester group. I will then have that out there, and then slowly I will go back and get all the older videos released for posterity. As well as one I'm really looking forward to sharing is what it's like living with level 1 charging. And you can find that at youtube.com/Kacey Green. That's KACEYGREEN.
Subscribe and hit that notify button at Kacey's channel today. Mark Coughlin, what's up in your world?
Well, I would like to say to the viewers at this point, please give us a thumbs up in the video. That helps us out immensely. Please press that subscribe button and alert button if you haven't already. Again, that helps us out tremendously. And without doing really much, you're supporting the show, and we would really appreciate that. There's also options that if you would like to throw us a few dollars here and there, you can do so. And you can receive some extra bonuses. And with that, and no, it's nothing to do with Russell's rant. You don't have to listen to that if you don't want to.
Just send your money in small bags, small bills. Send it today. I got a scooter to pay for, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that wasn't a $2 American bill, was it?
It's an American toonie.
Holy moly.
That is a couple $100 in $2 bills.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone's
You
been
really had to
collecting.
work the poll for that one.
Right. You got to get that new scooter somehow.
You knew, didn't you, Georgia McKenzie? Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you didn't ask me what song.
Oh.
You just know it's classic Bon Jovi. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, man.
I thought it was Welcome to the Jungle, frankly. That's
So if you remember last week, Russell had injured himself when somebody ran him over on his scooter, and so if you want to help, there's a join button down below. You can hit that, and proceeds can help him get back on the road.
He only accepts $2 bills.
Actually, none of that money goes to the scooter thing. So thank you.
Never mind.
Support the show. That means I have to put out less out of my pocket. Thank you so much.
You can tip him and write scooter on the tip.
There we go. Yeah,
that's right, JC.
I'm definitely up.
Russell's only fans.
I am definitely up for your poll dance or whatever it is you want.
He's your private dancer. Dancer for money.
Tina Turner just went, "Oh God, what hurts?" Georgia McKenzie.
Well, first and foremost, shout out to you guys for rocking with us today and hanging out in the chat and watching the show. We really appreciate you. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, as Mark has already pointed out. Bounce over to the Tesla Live, hit like and subscribe over there, and stop by Kacey's channel. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. You're on a roll. Now you've done everything you need to do. And one of the other things is help us grow the show. Recommend us. Share it. I mean, you're having a pretty good time. And let's face it, a lot of your friends are kind of like you. So why not bring them in? Ruin their lives with us. Also...
Boy, that went down quickly.
Hey.
Did you say ruin their lives?
At least I'm up front.
There you go.
And don't forget, Russell is working really hard. At least he's not getting it per quarter a run. So he's getting $2 bills, and we've got to keep him going.
No one cares. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you, Mark. Thank you, Kacey Green. Thank you, Paul Guzik, for a great show this week. I appreciate it. As always, thanks to Michael Mannering for our theme music. Visit him at manthing.com. Do follow us on social media if you choose. Oddly enough, we're at What Drives Us pretty much everywhere. And if we're not, like Instagram, who cares? Fuck Instagram anyway, okay? You don't need to go to Instagram and see pictures of tires and stupid shit. Car Twitter on Instagram. Oh, God. Oh, Pebble Beach. Fuck. Was that too inside baseball? George is like, yeah, way too inside baseball. Okay. Sorry. Thanks to all of you for watching the show. You're the reason we do it. And tune in next week to find out what drives us. See you, everybody. Have a great week.